Uh, Hello everyone, and welcome to the channel. So, guys, we are back with the third session of this series, or 12 lecture series for RBI Grade B Phase 2 Descriptive English. And I hope you're liking the sessions, and I hope we are helping you out in your journey. So, guys, do show me a thumbs up in the chat box so that I get a confirmation I'm visible and I'm audible to everyone. So, this Saturday morning, I hope you are all settled. I hope you are all free, and please spare time for this session because this session is going to be a very very important and an eye-opening session for you, where we'll be discussing live essay writing, how to frame your essays, how to start it from a scratch, and then how to give it, how to bring it out into life. So good morning everyone. Thank you so much, guys. Uh, Kishan, that's okay. You can watch this session and you can watch the previous sessions later on, but do stick to the sessions. So we're just discussing essay writing today. And guys, don't forget to like the session. Don't forget to share it because I know you want to, and that would give us a lot of motivation. So guys, without any further ado, let's jump into the session. So the agenda for this session is, first of all, we'll be discussing the different structures of an essay. We'll be discussing about expository essays, we'll be discussing about argumentative structure, we'll be discussing about narrative and descriptive as well. Then we'll be discussing about some essay writing skills, and then we will look into the articulation of your essay. How do you articulate your essays from ground up, right? If you have certain key points, if you have certain statistics, then how do you build your essay around that? So we'll discuss that today. Then I'll also be giving you some sample essays. And guys, there's something interesting at the end of the session, so don't miss it out. I did go and use AI chatbot yesterday for the first time ever. And I tried asking it what could be the potential important topics for the year 2023 based on finance, economy, and your ESI topics. And I'll tell you what response I got. So it was an interesting one. So just wait for that. Right. All right, guys. So thank you so much, guys. So let's begin with the session. So as in the previous sessions, I told you we can broadly classify our essays into four different categories, which are namely number one, argumentative essays, number two, expository essays, number three, narrative essays, and number four, descriptive essays. So guys, what is the first step to understand when you are about to write an essay, right? So you need to choose a particular way of presentation. You need to understand, okay, this is that sort of essay and I would be required to present it in a certain way, right? So let's discuss those classifications. So first category is argumentative essays. And as the name suggests, what is argumentative? Where you have to argument, where you have to put an argument for both sides. For example, you have to tell about the pros and cons, the goods and the bads, the benefits and the challenges. So such essays are basically, in layman language, are called argumentative essays. Now, what skills are tested in such essays? For example, number one, forming an opinion via research. So you would be, creating an opinion. You would be forming an opinion, unbiased opinion, not biased, not inclined towards any particular political bosses of the day or any other for that matter. But you'll be forming an opinion which is basically based on your research, right? And then you will be building an evidence-based argument. So you will be, giving pros and cons, or you'll be highlighting benefits and challenges on an evidence-based argument. So I've given an example. For example, has the rise of internet had a positive or a negative impact on education? Now, obviously, there are obviously, the positive sides are too many, and there could be a few negative ones, but we'll have to discuss both, right? And in fair light, we don't want to just keep writing, on one side here. We need not to be, inclined or biased towards the topic. What we need here is a balanced approach. Yes, internet has impacted, rise of education, and it has impacted the outreach of education to the grassroots levels of the country where it is really required. But there are also challenges at the same point of time, in lack of infrastructure, lack of outreach program, the prevalent poor literacy rate, and how internet has how it has helped in that. So that would be called an argumentative essay, where you argue about the topic. Second is expository essays. Now, as the name suggests, you are exposing a topic in such a in such a formation. So what is expository? Where you are exposing a topic, and in this essay you'll be writing a one-sided essay where you'll be only be talking about benefits, or you'll only be criticizing something. So in expository essays, it is basically a knowledge based essay where your knowledge of the topic will be tested. How much do you know about that topic? For example, if I ask you to write the benefits of space exploration, right? So obviously there are only goods, and when I'm talking about benefits, now obviously we'll be writing a one-sided essay where we'll be only highlighting the benefits, what we get out of this. So that is a knowledge based topic, and you have to communicate your information clearly, right? So that is a one-sided essay, and I'll give you an example. For example, explain how the inception of technology has revolutionized the world. So see, in such a topic, we'll not be giving the bads of the topic. We'll only be writing the good, right? The benefits, the revolutionization brought forward by technology in the world. So that is a one-sided topic, and in such a topic, you would be required to explore and express your knowledge of the topic. How many angles, how many aspects can you touch there? So that is the important game. Now, third type of essays, narrative essays. Now, what are narrative essays? Where you have to present a compelling narrative on the topic, right? Where you are, there'll be no data, no backup thesis, no statistics, no reports, nothing of that sort. You'll be writing everything on the basis of your your creative language and your compelling narrative. For example, if I ask you to write, for example, the example is given, importance of communication skills, right? So in such a topic, there would be no data, no background thesis required. So this essay would require you to write down everything on the basis of your experience and how well you communicate your ideas, right? So you'll be required to create a compelling narrative here, where you will be, you'll be using creative language to present your ideas. So in communication skills, how would you start that topic? I would probably start, communication is the only tool which separates us from animals. Our ability to rationally think, communicate well, and to be and to come together and stay as a social animal, that has brought forward the advent or the inception of the growth of human beings, and that is what brought us to the top of the food chain in the world. So I would start something with the background of the topic, not background as in like information, but background as in like how how it has helped us to grow as a whole. So starting something like that, and then I will bring forward how how important communication skills are, how they differentiate, or how they make you stand out. So that would be a narrative essay, narrative topic, right? And fourth topic is descriptive. Fourth type of structure is descriptive. Now in descriptive essays, now you would be highlighting sensory details in the topic, where you would be again required creative language use. For example, what is your opinion on nationalism versus globalization? So now in such a topic, there is no background thesis, no reports, no schemes. You'll be writing everything on the basis of your your presentation skills, your creative use of language, and your sensory details that you are going to create. That yes, nationalism has its own goods, and globalization has also provided necessary push to the economy, specifically talking about India. But where do we stand today? Should we go for nationalism? Is that the right approach, or should we stick to globalization, or is there a third way? Right. So that is what would be required when you are writing such essays. So broadly speaking, now why am I highlighting these four structures to you? Because you would be required to understand, according to the topic, you would be choosing one out of these presentation styles. So when you face a topic, for example, the benefits of e-rupee, right? So now that's an expository essay. Right. So when you're exposing a topic, now you would understand, okay, this is the type of presentation I would require. If I give you a topic on the benefits and challenges of Ayushman Yojana, for example, the benefits and challenges. So now that could be an argumentative essay where you'll be discussing, right, the goods. Obviously there is no negative here, but what are the challenges, right? So that could be an argumentative essay. So you need to understand what type of essay we are going to write and how to write that essay, the structure to be followed in that essay. So broadly speaking, your essays fall into these four categories, right? And you can form your presentation structure, presentation style based on the classification that you look forward, that okay, if this it's a narrative essay, so I would be taking this approach, right? So let me get into the details of all these all these structures, and I've put down a few words for you, so I'll just read them out, and so that you can understand how each and every presentation structure differs from the other. So let's start with argumentative first of all, right? So the characteristics of compare and contrast essays. So guys, please read it carefully. The characteristics of compare and contrast essays are the basis for comparison between two objects, points of comparison, and analogies. It is grouped by object, chunking, putting together, or by sequential. So you can take two approach, guys. You can either, in one paragraph, you can write all the pros, and in next paragraph, you can write all the cons, right? This is chunking, putting together all the things. Or the other approach can be sequential, that after giving one pro in the same paragraph, in the next sentence you are giving the contradictory con, then you give one pro and then you give one con. So that can be sequential, right? So that is how you can also follow. So there are two ways of presenting your argumentative essays. So it is grouped by either objecting, that is chunking, or by point, that is sequential. Now, comparison emphasizes upon the similarities between two or more similar objects, while contrasting emphasizes upon the differences between two or more objects. That is absolutely true. That comparison emphasizes the similarities, whereas contrasting emphasizes the differences between the two objects. The writers writing a compare and contrast essay need to determine their purpose, study their audience, analyze the basis and points of comparison, create their thesis statement, organize and develop the comparison, and identify a conclusion. So that is the way to follow through this particular type of structure. You determine the purpose of your essay, then you analyze the basis and the points of comparison. You create the thesis statement. How are you going to discuss them? Organize and develop the comparison, right? How well created comparison it is, and then identify a conclusion. That would be the right approach for argumentative essays. Now, for expository essays, where you are exposing a topic, right, where you are giving insight details, insightful details about a topic. Now, those essays are called expository essays. Now, it is a form of an argumentative piece, so it is similar to an argumentative essay, but what is the subtle difference? It is a form of an argumentative piece of writing that carry out an objective analysis of the subject matter focused on to a single topic. So this is important. So this is sort of an argumentative, one-sided argumentative piece of writing that carries out an objective analysis of the subject matter, and it is focused on single topic. The basic idea of the criticism is to provide the readers with an opinion either of positive or negative implications. So you are either writing the positive side or you're writing the negative side of the topic. Hence, a critical essay requires strong internal logic, research and analysis, and sharp structure. That is absolutely true. So it requires a strong internal logic. It needs your research and your backup thesis, your analysis, and a sharp structure. Punchy lines which stays with the reader after he's done reading the essay. He should feel that, okay, I have read something which I didn't know earlier. So, and the way it has been presented, it's excellent. So that is the sort of essay you would be required to write in an expository essay. Now, critical essay requires sufficient evidence in relevance to the point made in the support of each argument. So this requires sufficient evidence. So that means you would be presenting a lot of facts, a lot of data, a lot of stats. And guys, honestly speaking, if you ask me, sir, which sort of essays do most of the aspirants prefer? This is the most preferred essay by aspirants, because this is mainly based on facts, research, thesis, statements, and it becomes very easy to write an excellent essay, and I'll prove it to you today. Right? We'll practice some essays today. Now, what are other logical structures that you can follow for argumentative or expository essays? The structure of an essay can be organized in various forms. Its logical progression can also take many forms. Now, managing the movement of thoughts through an essay in an effective manner can have significant impact on its overall relevance and its ability to impress. So you need to be very careful with your structure. It is important to understand that it is not just what you write. It is also about how you write and the way you present your opinions and your thesis. That is also equally important to what you write there, right? Now, coming to the next two structures of the essay, that are narrative and descriptive. So let's also understand that, and then I'll highlight how to write economics based topic. So In narrative essays, a narrative keeping its focus on the plot. So a narrative essay is basically, it keeps its focus on the plot, utilizes various tools such as flashbacks, starting from the history, flash forwards to the future, and then transitions that often lead to a climax. So in narrative essay, you start with the backdrop of the topic. Like I told you, if you ask me to write an essay on communication skills, right? So on such a topic, I'll probably start from the very scratch of where Neanderthal came out of the caves, and he started using his hands. Now he probably discovered or invented fire, but what was the next step in the evolution chain or the evolution theory? The next was communication. How did they communicate? Through sign languages, through words, and then how they evolved. And that is when we saw, probably, let's say that's based on your research, that 5,000 years ago, 7,000 years ago, or 4,000 years ago, we saw the first proper language that has been documented in the history. So start with the flashbacks, right? Then you will during this, it will also give you flash forwards. You'll also give flash forwards that communicating this way. AI has also has played its part, right? We have tools today which can help people with disabilities. So such points would be written, that would be flash forwards, and then transitioning from history to present to all the emphasis, and then we move forward. So those are called narrative essays that often lead to a climax. Now the writers creating a narrative take into account its purpose, right? What is the purpose of this topic? Study their audience, provide their point of view, use dialogue, and organize the narrative chronologically. So if I'm talking about communication skills, I would obviously be talking about how it has evolved, then how many languages came up, what is the importance of communication skills, then what role it plays in a person's life, really the role it plays in work culture, how it employs better opportunities for growth. And when you are able to communicate well, that is when you become a proper team player. And to climb the ladders of growth and success, you need good communication skills. Then you would also talk about the ability to communicate well, which includes written, verbal, oral, whatnot. And then you keep on emphasizing such points, and that is how you create your narrative essays. And last but not the least, your descriptive essays. Now what are descriptive? Where we talk about sensory details of the topic, right? So descriptive writing is characterized by employing the sensory details that include sight, sound, touch, smell, and taste to capture the attention of the reader. So that is basically an essay based on your senses, which touch your senses, which you can really feel. So that sort of essay is called descriptive essay. For example, there was a topic last year in UPSC examinations. Last year I'm talking about, and the topic was the hand that rocks the cradle. I think it was something like that, right? The hand that rocks the cradle rules the world. So in such a topic, now there would be no descriptive or argumentative thesis required. Now what is required is descriptive, where you are describing the sensory details. So what does this topic tell you, right? The hand that rocks the cradle rules the world. So when in such a topic, you would be required to present your insights into the role played by by a person who plays such a holistic role in the development of a human's life, right? How it impacts the society, how important women participation is, right? So that is what is called descriptive essay, right? So it appeals to the physical senses. It uses details that are appealing to readers' physical, emotional, and intellectual sensibilities. The rhetorical choices to be considered when using a description are determining the purpose, judging the audience, and developing a dominant impression, applying descriptive language use, and organizing the description. So that is what a descriptive essay is, which touches the humane side of the psychology, right? Where you touch the humane side of the reader, where you really convince him that yes, this is the truth, and whatever you are presenting, it should have support, very deep, insightful presentation style that can help you to understand, okay, how further you are going to write and how further you are going to convince the reader about your opinions. So these are descriptive essays. So there are basically 4 structures of essays, namely argumentative, where you're talking about pros and cons, goods and bads, benefits and challenges. Then second are expository, where you are writing on on one angle, where you are only talking about either the good or the bad of something, right? For example, the the potential of war, or let's say the clouds of war in the world, right? And the impact of this Ukraine-Russia war. So this is always all negative, 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 right? If we talk about the inception or the invent of AI, so this is mostly positive, positive, positive. Maybe a little, a little heads up here or there, but mostly it is positive, right? So that is argumentative and expository structure. Then for static topics, right, we have two structures, narrative and descriptive. So please choose your structure carefully, because that that is very, very important, guys. And then if you are writing an essay based on economics, so what should be your what should be the essay flow, the flow of ideas? An economics essay is the form of essay that could be started with either a thesis or a theme, right? The course of interaction taken by it could be both narrative and descriptive. Writer can even make an argumentative essay if the need arises. If the essay is introduced, the author need to make the best use of his ability to bring out the economic rationality associated with it, to analyze it, evaluate it, and draw conclusion. For example, if the topic given to you is the mergers of banks, right? Is the merger of banks helpful or beneficial in the long run? So in such an essay, obviously you'll be talking about certain examples, but broadly it will be based on your personal opinion about it, what you have researched about it, how it may fare in the near future, why is it necessary, right? Is merger a good thing or a bad thing, right? So it would require your opinionated answer, and you would be presenting it in a way. So that's what he's saying. So any topic particularly based on economics, right, it can be it can be descriptive, it can be narrative, it can be both narrative, it can be both descriptive, it can also be an argumentative if the need arises, right? After the essay is introduced, the author need to make the best use of his ability to bring out the economic rationality associated with it, to analyze it, to evaluate it, and to draw conclusion out of it. If the essay is presented in a narrative form, then the writer need to bring out each aspect of economic puzzle to the reader in a way that makes it clear and understandable to him. For example, if I talk about the benefits of, or let's say the advent of virtual currency, so this is an economy based topic, right? Now in such a topic, I would talk that okay, it was incepted in 2008 by by XYZ person, and there is no base to it, and this is this has come up as a new way of new way of commerce, right, in the world, where people do not really hold the money in their hands, but they use it to basically to exchange goods or exchange services online. And but then there are negative angles as well. Black market or gray market is supported by this sort of payment, and this is very volatile. So you will give out all the aspects, and you let the reader decide how he or what he thinks about it. So that is the sort of structure you can take up in any topic that is based on economics. So guys, broadly speaking, I have given you 4 or 5 structures today: argumentative, expository, narrative, descriptive, and a subtle economic based topic, right? So you can use these you can use all these structures to understand and to use them when you are drafting your essays. So that was all about theory, guys. I know what you have been waiting for, and let's start today, guys. So guys, now today, as the title of the video said, how to write an essay like a pro, right? So we'll try to do that. So we have 4 topics in front of us guys, and we'll try to look into these important topics, and we'll see how to create an excellent or a very good essay on a potential topic when you're practicing on your own or when you are sitting in the exam. So the topics are e-rupee, India's digital currency, obviously important in the wake of today. Next is envisioning India at 2047, very broad topic, but obviously a very bulky topic, right? You would require to add so many facets into this. Then third, startup ecosystem in India, very important to talk about, because there have been many ups and downs in this field. And then last but not the least, UPI, advantages and disadvantages. So guys, e-rupee, India's digital currency, you can say this is an expository essay, right? Let's try to put it in terms of what we have done so far. Second, envisioning India. Now this could be a descriptive or a narrative. I think this could be a narrative based essay, where you will be creating a narrative, the positivity of of the target that India has set for 2047. So that can be called a narrative essay. Now startup ecosystem, this is again you'll be exposing, right? So you'll be exposing the topic. So that can also be called an expository essay. And then UPI advantages and disadvantages. We can also understand we are also talking about the two sides. So this can, sorry, not expository. This can be called an argumentative essay, right? So guys, this is how you classify these topics in your head. When you read the topic, the first thing that should come to your mind is, what structure am I going to follow in this essay, right? So guys, are you with me? Yes? Is everything clear to you? Are we making use of the content? Are we learning something here? So guys, do let me know. And guys, if you have not liked the session, if you have not pressed the like button, please do so. There's a lot of effort that goes into it. Sir, I wrote on the first topic yesterday. Absolutely, Ronak. Then let's see what you wrote and how, were you on the right track or not? All right, guys. So thank you so much. All right, so let's begin. So let's one by one understand, right, how to really start from the baby steps, how to build up the essay from ground up. So the first thing that comes to your mind when you are starting with an essay is the rough draft, right? So let's take up topic number one, that is e-Rupee, right? So what do you know about e-Rupee? So guys, this is where our homework comes in. So you should, as I told you in the previous session, you should know something about everything. And that is the game here. If you know something about everything, that makes it possible for you, that enables you to write down your research, your thesis. But see, if I don't know what e-Rupee is, do you think I'll be able to write anything on it? Absolutely no, right? So your homework, your research is very important. And if you ask me, sir, where should we research from? Where should we find such data and statistics from? Now guys, I have taken these topics from the fodder material that we have provided you in our courses. So everything of importance from last year and everything of importance from this year is provided in the fodder material, and you can refer to the fodder material for your research. So you don't need to run from pillar to post. You don't need to run to Google or Wikipedia every time you are preparing for a topic. So we have done that for you, and that is how we are supporting you. Right? That is the hand holding we are doing for you. So we have provided the fodder material to you in your courses. So start using those those fodder material. So there are fodder material based on current affairs based topic, on financial topics, on economic topics, and then on static topics. So we have given you countless fodder material to study from. And if you start using that, that would be a good way to begin your preparation. So let's start with the topic e-Rupee, that is India's digital currency, right guys? So guys, what can we talk about? What can we talk about e-Rupee when we are trying to think of such an essay, right? So guys, this is the fodder. This was given, this information was given in your fodder material in your courses. So let's read and understand. Okay, first thing is to highlight the key points of the topic. So that is how you create a rough draft. So first, your first aim is to put down important key points around which you are going to build your essay. So what are the key points about e-Rupee? Let's start reading, and then let's look at a simple essay on e-Rupee, and let's see if we can use the information that is given to us and how we can create an essay, and then we'll practice more, right? So guys, thank you so much for your thank you so much for your confirmation. Thank you so much, guys. Yes, there's a fodder material in essay writing, and I have taken these points from the fodder material just to show you, right, how impactful and how helpful the fodder material is. So what are the key points about e-Rupee? First, it is a cashless and contactless method of offer digital payment, right, which basically does not require a person to go to a bank, or it does not require a person to have a savings account, or to be associated to a bank. So it is a cashless and it is a contactless method, which is based on digital payment, and which has revolutionized in the recent time. Digital payment technology, UPI systems, they've revolutionized the way people are transacting in India. So the first key point is, to build up upon, it is a cashless and contactless method for digital payment. Second, it is a quick response QR code, which we use in our UPI payments, right? So it's a quick response QR code or SMS string based e-voucher. So it's sort of an e-voucher which is delivered to the mobile of the user. So it's not a virtual currency, basically, not like Bitcoin or Ethereum. It is basically a QR based cost or SMS string based e-voucher which is delivered to the mobile of the user. So that is another point. All right. Third is it has been developed by the National Payment Corporation of India on its Unified Payments Interface UPI platform. So it has been developed by NPCI of India on Unified Payment Platform. Another important point. Fourth is in government sector, it is expected to ensure a leak-proof delivery of welfare services. So in government sector, this would be a revolutionary idea where there is not even single leak. There is leak-proof delivery of welfare services. For example, DBT, right? So DBT, all these services, if they can be delivered to the person's mobile, so the middleman goes away, and that is leak-proof delivery of welfare services. Or the old age pension scheme, the old age pension that is sent to the people's accounts. So people have to actually go to the bank to take out the money. But if this is rolled out, so people can be send their money on their mobile phones through e-rupee and they can use it, right? So that is the that is the idea behind creating e-rupee, and that is what they're visioning. That is the vision for the future. Next, e-rupee is not a digital currency. I've told you that e-rupee is not a digital currency. Rather, it is a social service voucher system. So it's not like Bitcoin or Ethereum. You can trade in it. So e-rupee is not a digital currency. Just to make it clear, rather it is a social service voucher system to ensure benefits reach the intended eligible beneficiaries without any discrepancies and delays. That is important point. That is the aim of this. Now, the main objective, what are the objectives and benefits of e-rupee? The main objective and long-term vision behind e-rupee is financial inclusion of unbanked citizens. That means the unorganized sector of the country, and bridging the digital gap. So these are the two key points or the key pillars of e-rupee. First is financial inclusion of people who are not into organized sector of the economy, and second, bridging the digital gap. That is a very good important point which we can build upon. Now, initially NPCI has tied up with more than 1600 hospitals where e-rupee can be redeemed. So according to Ayushman Yojana, if a person has e-rupee in his wallet, in his account, in his mobile phone, he can use that in those hospitals. So he doesn't need cash, he doesn't need a debit card or a credit card or any insurance for that matter. You can just go and use your e-rupee for your healthcare services. So that is a good approach by the government. Next, the Reserve Bank of India, RBI, has also mentioned that there are at least 3 reasons why digital currencies are expected to do well in India. So RBI has also mentioned that there are 3 reasons why digital payment system, digital currencies are expected to do well in India. What are these 3 reasons? Increasing penetration. Very important key point. Now, there is increasing penetration of digital payments in the country that exists alongside sustained interest in cash usage, especially for small value transactions. And I can truly feel this, guys. What happened this month? Last month, actually, the lady who comes to our house to clean and to wash dishes, right? The didi who comes to to work at our home. So because both of us are working, I and my partner, we both are working. So to look after kids and to help with the household chores, there's a maid who comes to our house every morning, and she helps us in cleaning and all that. So last month she told me, I asked her, how do you want the money, her salary, right? So I asked her, how do you want the money? Do you want it cash or should I transfer it to your account? She just showed me, Bhaiya, you can Google Pay it to me. And I was so happy to see a person who is not even literate, who can say that I have never gone to school in my life. And that is so that is one thing that I really feel bad about. But she is also able to use her UPI. She knows how to use UPI to get money or to send money. So that made me really happy in every sense of the word, right? So how it has penetrated our population, that is a key point. So there is increasing penetration of digital payments in the country that exists alongside sustained interest in cash usage, especially for small value transactions. I can send 20 rupees, I can send 10 rupees through UPI free of cost, and that is the best part about your UPI based banking system, right? And that makes UPI transactions very important for the future. Second important point is high currency to GDP ratio. India's high currency to GDP ratio holds out another benefit for of CBDCs, right? And third, spread of virtual currencies. The spread of private virtual currencies such as Bitcoin and Ethereum may be yet another reason why CBDCs become important from the point of view of the central bank. So how these virtual currencies have come up, they have given a chance, they've given a mindset, an idea to Indian the authorities that okay, if that can work, if people can adopt Bitcoin and Ethereum in such short span of time, I think UPI and e-rupee and such virtual currencies can be a game changer in a country like India. So these are 3 points which RBI has stated, about e-rupee, that due to increased penetration, due to high currency to GDP ratio, and due to spread of virtual currency, it can be and it will be a game changer in the country. And what could be the conclusion for such an essay? It will not only satisfy India's increasing appetite for digital payments and cryptocurrencies like Bitcoin and Ethereum and more. Along with it, it will also literate Indian people more about digital currencies and digital system. So digital literacy, financial literacy was required. Now digital literacy is the new term, right? Which we are, which we are all thinking about. And that way is going to help India in the long run. So that could be a very viable solution and a way forward to the essay, right? Exactly, Akant. So guys, now see, if you prepare, if I see now I know so much about e-rupee that it would be very easy for me to write a 400-word essay on this topic. So what could your essay, what could your essay look like? And guys, honestly speaking, this essay, I asked, yesterday was the first time, and I started using AI chat box. Although I use technology off and on, but see, I tried it yesterday, and this is what, your AI chat box gave me. So this is an essay which I found through AI, and just look at, the points that we were discussing, how they can be put into ideas, and then how can you frame a good essay. So let's read it, guys. In 2021, Indian government launched digital payment solution e-rupee, which is a cashless and contactless instrument for digital payment. Right, it is writing the same thing that we did there in the first point. So if you know when it was incepted, you can create a good opening. So in 2021, Indian government launched this digital payment solution e-rupee, which is a cashless and contactless instrument for digital payment. It is expected that e-rupee voucher is going to play an important role in making DBT, direct benefit transfer, more effective in digital transactions. It will also give a new dimension to digital governance in the country. Then when you set up a background of the topic, then you start with the with the different angles that you are going to discuss e-rupee in. Now e-rupee is basically a digital voucher. A beneficiary gets it on his phone in the form of SMS or QR code. It is a prepaid voucher which can be redeemed at any center that accepts it. Now e-rupee is a digital voucher which can be issued by partner bank and redeemed at the center which accepts it. For example, if the government issued an e-rupee voucher through a partner to cover a particular treatment of an employee in a specified hospital, the employee will receive an SMS or a QR code on his feature phone, smartphone, and he and she can pay through e-rupee voucher received on his phone for the treatment he/she has availed. Thus, e-rupee is a contactless, cashless voucher-based mode of payment that enable users to redeem the voucher without a card, digital payments app, or internet banking access. So it is a sort of a e-voucher, sort of a e-voucher thing, which basically enables the user to redeem the voucher without a debit card or a credit card, without any digital payment app or any internet banking access. So even if you do not have a savings account, you can still use e-rupee as a form of payment, and that is a great vision for the future of the country. Now what else? E-rupee does not require the person to have a bank account. It just works like it just works like cash. It also ensures an easy contactless two-step redemption process and does not require to share personal details of both the parties. Transaction of e-rupee is operable on basic phones also, and so it can also be used by persons who do not own smartphones. It also doesn't require internet connection for redemption of e-rupee. Since e-rupee is a digital voucher, so there is no need for physical issuance of vouchers, resulting in some cost savings as well. The NPCI, the National Payments Corporation of India, oversees the digital payments ecosystem in India. The NPCI has launched e-rupee, which is a voucher-based payment system to promote cashless transactions. E-rupee has been developed by NPCI in collaboration with Department of Financial Services, Ministry of Health and Family Welfare, and National Health Authority. So the RBI, the Reserve Bank of India, has predicted that e-rupee will increase penetration of digital payments in the country that exists alongside sustained interest in cash usage, especially for small value transactions. Due to India's high currency to GDP ratio holds out another benefit of CDBCs, that is your basically when you're using e-rupee as a product, as a mode of payment, it is also going to help out in many ways, as it was mentioned. First, the penetration is deep. Second is the India's high currency to GDP ratio that holds out another benefits for CBDCs. Apparently, the spread of private virtual currencies such as Bitcoin and Ethereum may be yet another reason why CBDCs become important from the point of view of the central bank. The central bank digital currencies might also cushion the general public in an environment of volatile private virtual currencies. And what could be said in the conclusion of such an essay? Initially, NPCI has tied up with more than 600 hospitals where e-rupee can be redeemed. Other ground level initiative have also been taken to make this initiative successful. It is expected by experts that in coming days, user base of e-rupee will widen and even private sector will use it or will be using it to deliver employee benefits, and MSMEs, right, micro, small and medium enterprises, adopting it for business to business B2B transactions. So guys, the day is not far away. I could have added one more sentence into it. So the day is not far away when you can when you can see your salary being credited through e-rupee coupons or through your UPI based payments, right? So instead of waiting for all those transactions and cards and checks, it can be done instantly, right? So this is the sort of essay that you should look into when you are developing your essays out there, right guys? So the point is, if you have done your research, if you know what the topic is all about, if you have the basic understanding of the topic, and if you have some key element, if you know some key elements about this topic, you can create a very at least more than good, it can be a it can be called a very good essay. So you can create a very good essay only on the basis of information that you have collected over the period of time, right guys? So I want to try it with you. I want to try the next topic with you. I'm not giving you any tips or tricks now. I want you to participate in this. So guys, come on, start just help work with me here, help me here. Now, what could be the important points that you can think of if we are writing an essay on envisioning India at 2047? So obviously this is a one-sided essay. We'll be writing about the goals we want to achieve, and the areas we would think of to to improve in, for example, education, financial literacy, then climate change, then technology, IT, science, whatnot, right? So come on guys, give me your points and we'll try to create an essay right here. So that is what I called writing an essay like a pro. Absolutely, Wayne Bruce. See, the facts and data, they are the backbone of your essay. That is the only way you can prove that you are talking, you're not just talking out of out of thin air. You are you're basing your opinions, you're basing whatever you're writing on research. So yes, as I've reiterated this many times, statistics, facts, data, reports, schemes, these are backbones of your essay. So come on guys, give me some important point. See guys, if I were to write this essay, I would start probably by what is happening around us. I would probably introduce my essay by saying that India has formally become the most populous country in the world, right? So India has become the most populous country in the world, overcoming China in the year June or July. It will be formally the most populated country in the world, right? And it is expected that around 2047, India will be around 1.5 billion people, right? So that is a huge population, right? Which is about 20%, more than 20% of the total global population, right? So I would start with that. Now, with this sentence, then I would say that there are two things that come out of this. If India has become the most populous country, now this tells me that India has the most human capital available to us, right? And another thing that is of importance to understand here is it's not just we are the most populous country. The demographic dividend of the country, that is also very very important, because we have the highest number of working population in the world, and the average age of India, average age of a working person in India is 23. It is also going to come down in the near future. So India has the most human capital available. That is one thing that I take out of this statement, that India has become the most populous country. And the second is we have a lot of workforce. I mean, that is human capital, and that also tells us that we also have a huge consumer base available to us. So if we have 1.5 billion people, we have the people to work in our companies, and we have people to consume those goods as well. So that is how I would start writing my essay. So that would be important. Yes, guys? Getting more than 50% energy by renewable sources, absolutely, Wayne Bruce. So I'll mark down the important points. Energy independence, right? So this is, guys, so this is blueprint. This is blueprint. I was rough draft that I was talking about, how to create a rough draft. Energy energy reliance or energy independence, you can call it energy independence, where we do not have to import energy or renewable sources of energy, which also talks about renewable sources of energy. So I've taken your point, guys. Please give me more points. What could be more points here, guys? Economic growth, right? Despite the recession and the war and all the ups and downs in the global market, Indian economy is faring not better, the best out of all, right? So economic growth in the recent years can be said, in the last decade or so, it has been roughly approximately around 7%, right? So it can be said that around 7% or 6 to 7%, you can put it also this way. Yes, guys. So we can say the economic growth has been around 7%, and in the near future, by different organizations, it is also predicted that it is also going to be high, right? Which is going to pave the way for India to becoming a developed economy, right? Achieving self-reliance in defense sector. Yeah, that is also true, Akhand. But there are more education. Very good, Gitanjali. Education is another sector that I would like to highlight upon. Literacy rate, education, its outreach program, right? And then to improve the literacy rate of the country, right? So that is another angle I would definitely discuss. What else, guys? Healthcare. Our India's healthcare index has been predominantly quite low, but after Ayushman Yojana and all these schemes, I think healthcare is another area which we can focus upon, because, guys, you should know that India has become the a medical destination. I talked about it in the last lecture. India has become a medical destination in the world. So why are we as Indians not why are we not getting the healthcare services? We are a country where people from abroad come to get to get medical services, to get their operations done, to get to get the best infrastructure, and to get the best facilities for healthcare. And we in India, we do not get it. So that is a critical situation to talk about. So yes, we should also highlight healthcare. What else, guys? Self-reliance, right? Indigenous, you can say, as a concept, self-reliance in every sense, not just in defense sector. Akant, self-reliance in every sense. Make in India, made in India movement, right? Self-reliance, indigenous movements of goods, which we basically, where we can also talk about Bharatmala and Sagarmala, right? So that is another very good impact, right? Support to MSME, very good, Gitanjali. That is another G20, another very good point, Sahil. Very well done. What about climate change, and what about climate change and let's say zero carbon emission, right? That was another thing which India has taken up, which India aims to achieve by 2070, right? So zero carbon emission. So that is another good point to discuss if we are talking about, right? So guys, now see, now you write down all the points that come to your head, right? So I can also talk about let's say technology. That is another angle. That is another thing that we should talk about, technology, because if we talk about the IT sector, it is the best in the world, and how how we have seen it grow, Silicon Valley and whatnot in Silicon Valley, sort of Silicon Valley, right? A soft Silicon Valley, you can call it. So that has been a game changer, right, in the world. So that should be, see guys, now once you have put down all the important points, now what you do is, now you also need to understand that, okay, I have only 400 words to finish off my essay, right? So guys, now if I decide, I've decided, okay, this is a this is what I'm expository essay where I'm exposing, one side of the topic. So let's say I have 5 paragraphs. So I'll start with this thing. I will, finish off with a way forward and, some viable solutions. In the middle 3 paragraphs of the body, I have to discuss all these points. So see guys, I have to observe proportion as well. So don't just try to pack everything here. When you know that you are talking about a broad essay, when you're highlighting a broad essay, what you should do is try to highlight the key areas, technology, growth, economy, healthcare, education, right? Energy dependence. So I think these are the key areas. We don't want to go into the very, very minute areas, or you can say very in-depth areas, because that would be impossible for you, right? So understand this way. Okay, this is I'm going to write about. This is my word limit. So I'll be discussing these 5-6 points in the 3 paragraphs, right? So guys, I think I agree with all of you. What you have written here, and that was the purpose of this exercise, that you tell me the points and let's see if, if a good essay includes all that we think is, is required in an essay or not. So guys, let's read an essay on this topic and let's see if it includes everything that we were highlighting. And now you will understand how to use, how to present your thesis to fetch good marks, to to draft an excellent essay. So let's read the essay, guys. India, with its rich cultural heritage and diverse population, is one of the fastest growing economies in the world. That is true, based on facts, right? Now I can add another fact here. According to this report, according to this organization, according to this body, in the year 2022-23, right, India has become the fastest growing economy of the world, with a growth rate of 6.3% or so, right? So I would back up my thesis with a statistic here. Now, as we approach the year 2047, which will mark the centenary of India's independence, it is natural to wonder what the future holds for this dynamic nation. In this essay, we will examine some possible scenarios for India's future based on current trends and projections. So guys, this again, I took this essay from an AI chatbot. I asked it to write an essay on envisioning India 2047, and this is what it gave me. So let's look at the points that it has mentioned, and let's see if we agree with it. So this was the introduction part. That's how you raise the curtain, guys, right? That's how you set the platform for the reader. Oh, that is interesting. Now I should read further, right? So your opening should always be intriguing. It should be a punch, right? It should come as a as a sucker punch, right, to the reader. Oh, that was something that I didn't know about, right? That's a good way of presenting this. Now, let's read further, guys. One of the most important factors that will shape India's future is its population. Very well done, guys. India is projected to become the most populous country in the world by 2027, with a population of over 1.5 billion people. This presents both opportunities and challenges for the country. On one hand, India's large population can provide a huge workforce and consumer base, which can drive economic growth and development. I think that's what I talked about, right? On the other hand, if not managed properly, the growing population can strain resources and exacerbate social and environmental problems. So we are giving both sides of the topic. So yes, human capital, or the highest population, being the most populous country in the world, has its goods and has its bads. So if managed properly, we can become a powerhouse. But if, and that depends on the government that is, in power at that time, or, what is going to be there in the, whichever party is going to be in the power in the next elections, right? But see, this is very true in context of India, that we have such a huge population. Now we are the workforce and we are the consumer base as well, if we look at it this way. But on the other hand, if not managed properly, this growing population can also strain resources. Food security can be a problem, right? Climate challenges can be another, and they can exacerbate social and environmental problems. So very good way of presenting a point. Let's read further, guys. Another key factor in India's future is its economic growth. That is, see, so in this paragraph, I highlighted the population wala part, right? So we highlighted the angle of population here. Now, I think in this paragraph, he's talking about the economics, right? The economy of the country. So another key factor in India's future is its economic growth. India has been one of the fastest growing economies in the world in recent years, with a growth rate of around 7% annually. This growth has been driven by a number of factors, including a young population, a growing middle class, a large and a diverse economy. However, there are also challenges to sustaining this growth in long term. These include a lack of infrastructure and skilled labor, as well as political and bureaucratic obstacles to investment and development. So he's giving you both sides of every aspect, guys. So this is a very good way of presenting your ideas. So instead of writing all the pros together, all the cons together, in every paragraph, you write a pro and you write a con, and then you let the reader decide, oh, so this is the right step to take, right? So again, India's economy is resilient. India has grown with 7% with a with 7% growth rate and annually, but this may go bad in the future if you know if it is not, if enough measures are not put into place, which include infrastructure building and skilled labor development. So that is why Skill India movement was launched by the country. So this is one thing that I like about the present political bosses, the present government, that they are they're thinking about the future. Yeah, right. So what we think today, what we understand today, I think they thought about it 2 years ago, 3 years ago, and that is a good thing. So, when you think about the country that way. What else can be discussed, guys? Let's look further. Focusing on the literacy rate of India. So now I think we're talking in this paragraph, we're talking about education, right? Which is another factor that we highlighted, right? So focusing on the literacy rate of India, it can be observed that we have already achieved a lot in the field of education, but we have not reached yet 100% literacy rate. So continuous systematic effort will improve the reach of education to the grassroots level, where people living in far-fetched areas will also have access to the quality education. For this purpose, affordable and quality education. So affordable education and quality education to everyone should be our utmost priority. Now, India is second most populous country in the world, which also demands world-class medical facility. So that is also true. So now he has set the tone for the next paragraph. So after education, we talk about what about the medical sector of the country. So let's discuss that. It has been realized during COVID-19 pandemic that there is a strong need to pay attention towards the healthcare sector. Realizing the need of the hour, many new government hospitals were opened and medical equipment were imported. India also, I think this is also, I think I missed it. I typed it down, guys. So please, I apologize. India also started producing many new medical equipment to make India self-reliant in the field of healthcare. Government has launched schemes like Ayushman Bharat Health Card, Pradhan Mantri Jan Aushadhi Yojana, Pradhan Mantri Ayushman Bharat Healthcare Infrastructure Mission, etc., to provide universal healthcare support to all. But the total requirement is still not covered, which should be our prime target in healthcare sector by 2047. Now, observing the recent developments in healthcare sector in India, we envision that by year 2047, India will be the leader in healthcare provider. What else? One area where India has made significant progress in recent years. So the previous paragraph, it was talking about the healthcare sector of the country, right? The medical facilities and the healthcare. Let's move further. One area where India has made significant progress in the recent years is in science and technology. Yes, guys. So that's what we also wrote about. Technology, another very important sector. So another area where India has made significant progress, or India has taken significant strides, or India has progressed leaps and bounds. So that's how you find out good punchy phrases for your essay, right? So one area where India has made a significant progress, or India has progressed leaps and bounds in recent years, is in science and technology. India has become a global leader in IT services, that is true, and has a rapidly growing startup ecosystem. India has also made strides in space exploration with successful missions to Mars and the Moon. If India can continue to invest in science and technology, it could become a major player in the global knowledge economy in the coming decades. Very good output. Next paragraph, guys. India became the world's third largest startup. Now, this is, I think, about startup economy. I think that's what you were talking about. So India became the world's third largest startup economy, and it's also crossed the 100 unicorn mark in 2022. The country now ranks behind the US, which has 661 unicorns, and China 312 unicorns. Despite the funding winter, Indian startups managed to raise $25 billion in capital, which was 2.2 times the money raised in 2020. According to the India Unicorns and Exits Tech Report 2022 by Aureus Ventures Partners. So this is very important, guys. You always give backup thesis of your research. So that when you give backup thesis, see how impactful this looked, right? So always have backup statements, backup stats for your thesis. That is very important. And last, in conclusion, what can we say? In conclusion, India's future at 2047 is highly dependent on how the country manages its population, how it manages its economy, governance, and technological progress. While there are certainly challenges and obstacles ahead, India has shown resilience and innovation in the face of adversity. With the right policies and investment, now we are giving a way forward, guys. So this is how we give a way forward. You've given a solution. How can we manage this? It can be managed by, by paying enough attention to population, economy, and governance and technological prowess or progress. Then what is the way forward? With right policies and investments, India has the potential to continue to grow and thrive well into the 21st century and beyond. So guys, this is what you call a good essay. So guys, I think we have highlighted all the good points. I think one thing that we missed here is carbon emission wala thing, climate change wala. But see, that is how you need to understand, okay, what are the key points to discuss here? When we are talking about India's growth, so climate change can be put on the back burner, right? So that is true, guys. So guys, how did you find this session? Was it useful? Was it beneficial? Please do share your inputs with me. And I'm not just leaving you yet. I'm giving you a homework topic. So this is your homework for, so whosoever is watching this session, this is your homework for this session. This is the topic that is given to you for your homework. Startup ecosystem in India. I think we did discuss about something about startup ecosystem in India in this, right? So India has the third largest startup economy in the world, which has crossed 100 unicorn mark in 2022. We are third in the world with, after USA, which has 661, after China, which has 312, and India has crossed 100 mark. I don't know what is the latest report. You can search for that. But see, this is why I call you should know something about everything, guys. Now, one point in one topic can become an independent essay topic in another angle, right? So your homework for today, for this weekend is, so guys, from on today, probably by end of day tomorrow, right? That is Sunday. I want you to write an essay on startup ecosystem in India, and I want you to post it in the comment section of the video, guys. Right? So that is your homework. But I'm also giving you a solution essay here, but don't read it before you write your own essay. What I would require, or what I would want you to do is write down your bullet points first. Make your own rough draft. What do we know about startup ecosystem? If you don't know anything, go read the fodder material, or go use Wikipedia, go to Google, find out important points of startup ecosystem in India. What do you know? And you collect as many important points as possible, right? Once you do that, you put them straight, you put them in line, you decide your way you are going to progress in your essay. I mean, the way you are going to design your essay, the way you are going to articulate it. Once you have done that, sit down for 25 minutes, type down your essay, copy it, and then paste it in the comment section of the video. I would love to read your essays. I may not evaluate them, but I will definitely read them, and probably in the next class I would tell you that, okay, if it was good, bad, or how it was. So do try your hand, so that see, there is always, you have to start somewhere, guys. You can't just hide behind and say, okay, we'll start after phase 1, we'll start after phase 1. That is not the right approach. Start today, so that the fear goes away, and when that happens, nothing can stop you. Got it, guys? So I am giving you a sample essay, sample solution for this essay. You can compare your essay with this, and if you want the PDF of this session, guys, please join our Telegram channel. Please join our Telegram group, the link for which has been given in the description of the video below. So do click on that link, and do check out our courses as well. And if you wish to connect with us, you can call us on this number during the office hours. That is 8146207241. And do share your feedbacks, do share your inputs with us on this email ID, that is hello@edutab.co.in. So guys, I hope these sessions are proving helpful for your preparation. They're proving beneficial for your understanding of the topics, and we will continue this series. So it's a 12 lecture series. Please do not forget to join us on Tuesdays, Thursdays, and Saturdays morning 8 a.m. And we'll be covering all the topics of your descriptive English part, that are essay writing. We are doing it right now. We'll be taking up essay writing after this, and then we'll be further. It will be further followed by reading comprehension. Yes, we can use we as in general people, like as in humans, we can use we, not any particular person, soul words. So yes, we can use we do use we, right? We as a country must think about the the potential of the human capital, or the demographic dividend of the country, right? So we do use we very, very frequently, and yes, we can use it. Absolutely, Bruce Wayne. Your essays, see, that is the originality. Obviously, see, humans, AI cannot beat human beings. What does AI do? It just fetches information from different sources, puts it together, and present it to you. So if it cannot find any good source, then obviously, see, those essays are already written by human beings, right? So AI is not doing anything out of the box, is not doing anything new. It's just using your information for you. Right. So it may be helpful for somebody who's beginner at this, but yes, you can write better essay than this. But how about this essay, Wayne? Just read about it. Should I read it? Should I read it out to you, or do you want to try it first and then you want to read it on your own? What do you say, guys? Very good, Bhuvan. But see, when you are writing a topic that envisioning India at 2047. Now, in such a topic, Bhuvan, it doesn't make sense to to degrade India, because when you are writing in a direction, there's no point, you'll be contradicting yourself. So see, that is why you can give the subtle intricacies and the drawbacks of the issue, but don't just start criticizing, because when you're envisioning something, that means you're talking about the bright and the prosperous future, or the future prospects of the country. So you will be contradicting the topic. So you need to understand what you need to include and what you cannot include in an essay, Bhuvan. See, inferencing what can happen. See, having nuclear powers also has challenges, right? But we don't use that. That India should give away nuclear weapons. Bhuvan, do we? All right. So you try it first, and then you read the essay, guys. So how was the session? Did you find it useful? Did you find it beneficial or not? If you did, guys, please don't feel shy. Don't shy away from clicking that like button. Don't shy away from sharing it with others, because this may prove beneficial for someone out there, somebody who is in dire need of this. So guys, that is what we can do together, right? To expand technology, to make it reach out to the people who really deserve it. So if somebody who is in the far-flung areas of the country who really needs such essays, such topics, such sessions, so please do share the links of these sessions to those people in the groups, in the Telegram groups that you are, so that it may prove beneficial for someone out there, right? Yes, absolutely, Subhashis. We do use idioms, we do use phrases very commonly, but idioms, see, in such technical topics, if you're writing an argumentative or if you're writing an expository essay, I don't think the idioms are necessary, right? You can just use phrasal verbs like need of the hour, right? Or something, these phrases are okay. But if you're writing a descriptive or a narrative essay, then yes, you can definitely use idioms. For example, India has always been in a catch-22 situation, right? For example, that can be used to prove a point, but then you will have to elaborate on what you are saying, right? All right, guys. So that's it for today. Thank you so much for joining in, guys. I'll be back on next Tuesday, and on that in that session we will be writing our essays live right here, right? During the session. So we'll be taking inputs. I'll be taking inputs from you. I'll be trying to. I'll try to teach you how to draft your essays right here. So this is a step-by-step process. First, we did the basics, fundamentals of essay writing. Then we learned about some important tips to look into, how you should fare and how you should dwell on it. Then today it was all about how to write an essay like a pro, how to create an essay like a pro. And once you get used to this, please practice it today and tomorrow, guys. Right? So you have time on your hands today and tomorrow. That is the weekend. So do try out your hand on some of the essay topics, and then come Tuesday, we'll discuss and we'll see how we can write essays live, right? So that you can understand, okay, what we can do in the exam and how we can write our essays there, right? So guys, that is it for today. Thank you so much. I wish you have a great weekend ahead. I'll see you guys in many other sessions. So guys, thank you so much for for joining in, for your precious time. And guys, again, we wish you all the very best for your endeavors ahead. Keep on working hard, and we promise to deliver on on your faith, on the trust that you have put in us. So having said that, I'll take your leave for today. Thank you once again, guys. Stay safe, stay healthy, and happy learning to all of you.